In onTrack by mbaMission, I'll be your guide through every step of the MBA application process, from assessing your candidacy, to writing compelling essays, to preparing for your interviews, and so much more. We also provide in-depth modules on more than 15 top MBA programs, not only providing key insights into each program, but also diving into the actual application for each school. Here's a sample lesson from our Kellogg module, in which I discuss Kellogg's application essay prompts and how to tackle them. Kellogg has 2 required application essays, both of which have a limit of 450 words, and its prompts are quite straightforward. In addition to these essays, you'll also need to record the compulsory Kellogg video responses as well. I'll talk more about those in a later lesson. But for now, let's start with Essay 1. Intentionality is a key aspect of what makes our graduates successful Kellogg leaders. Help us understand your journey by articulating your motivations for pursuing an MBA, the specific goals you aim to achieve, and why you believe now is the right moment. Moreover, share why you feel Kellogg is best suited to serve as a catalyst for your career aspirations and what you will contribute to our community of lifelong learners during your time here. And again, that's 450 words. This is a pretty traditional personal statement. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to review our personal statements module, in which I discuss the core components of this kind of essay, namely context, short-term goals, long-term goals, and why our school, which in this case is, of course, Kellogg. I also recommend that you review our Learn About Kellogg module in onTrack and our Kellogg Insider's Guide to ensure that you have a thoughtful and detailed rationale for pursuing your MBA at Kellogg. And I would encourage you to connect with current MBA students and alumni to learn about their experiences so that you continue gathering information and ultimately reveal through this essay that you're indeed applying to Kellogg with that intentionality. I must say that I'm quite pleased to see that word, intentionality, in Kellogg's essay prompt. It reinforces what I always tell applicants. This is a statement of purpose, and there can be nothing generic or cookie cutter about it. Start by providing brief context that supports your short and long-term goals, and make sure that your goals are ambitious yet realistic. You might do this in about 200 words. You then need to reveal how Kellogg specifically, intentionally, serves your academic and professional needs. You need to show that Kellogg is the critical bridge between where you are now and where you're going by identifying the key resources you will utilize to advance your goals. You can also share how and where you will contribute to the program. You can discuss, for example, how you'll bring your team building experience to your global initiatives and management team, or the energy and new programming ideas you plan to bring to the Joint Ventures Club. The specifics, of course, will be yours. What is important is that you communicate a very intentional plan in those 450 words. On to Essay 2. The prompt is, Kellogg leaders are primed to tackle challenges everywhere, from the boardroom to their neighborhoods. Describe a specific professional experience where you had to make a difficult decision. Reflecting on this experience, identify the values that guided your decision-making process and how it impacted your leadership style. Again, 450 words. Let's break this essay down into its components. First, you're asked to share a professional experience. For most applicants, that experience will come from their day-to-day work. However, if you're on the board of a nonprofit, serve in the military reserves, or have a side gig as an entrepreneur, just as a few examples, you can still consider yourself to be operating in a professional capacity in these environments. My point, don't be afraid to consider these options when brainstorming stories for this essay. The next important component of this prompt, you need to share an experience in which you faced a difficult decision. This doesn't need to be an instance where the fate of an entire organization relied on you. You can make a difficult decision to issue or not issue a public statement on a political matter, for example. You can make a difficult decision to allocate budget to one product over another, or to advocate for one hire over another. You can make a difficult decision to prioritize a particular project at work, or to challenge a colleague to push himself harder. There are countless examples to draw from. Once you've selected the appropriate story from your brainstorming, the key is to establish a clear STAR framework in which you describe the situation, the task at hand, the actions that you took to resolve the issue, and the resolution or results. As you share your story, the reader should get a sense of the values that guided your decision-making quite naturally. These values should be embedded in a narrative about how you reasoned through that difficult decision and ultimately determined and executed on a course of action. While most applicants will share a story with a positive outcome, that's not the only approach you can take. One might write about the learnings that came from pursuing the wrong path. Maybe you advocated for a candidate and he turned out to be the wrong hire. Maybe you challenged that colleague to push himself harder and the push negatively impacted your relationship. This leads us to the next key component of the essay. Kellogg asks you to reflect on your experience. The AdCom wants to know that you have the capacity to learn, develop, and grow. So you might set up your situation, task, and actions in about 350 words, and then use your final 100 words or so to reflect on the values you displayed in your decision-making and show how you applied your learnings going forward. And you must be able to show how you grew as a leader from the experience. You might even show how you are better equipped to handle a similar decision-making situation in the future. Kellogg asks how the experience impacted your leadership style. Make sure that you answer this part of the question in depth. You can't just say, and because of this experience, I am a more capable leader. It can be a fantastic coda to this essay. Finally, Kellogg offers you the opportunity to submit a brief, up to 280 words, optional essay if you need to address anything the AdCom might view as concerning or confusing. Be sure to review our module on optional essays to better understand when you should write such an essay and how to do so effectively. In addition to the written essays, Kellogg also has a video essay component. This step is to be completed after you submit your application, and I'll give you my advice on those video questions in the next lesson. Through our dedicated school modules, I'll provide you with the guidance you'll need to craft the best possible application for each of your target programs. And that's in addition to dozens of modules included in our core curriculum. If you're ready to explore all that onTrack has to offer, tap the link to complete our introductory questionnaire and receive your customized learning path. Best of luck with your applications.